Hi, I'm Jeff Nicholas, and I'm glad I get a chance to draw some pictures with you and tell you some stories. This year's theme is so much fun, Tales and Tales. I literally looked at tales and decided what could we do with those and put cartoons together with them. But before we get started into the theme, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about myself. I do it in a quick poem that I always start my programs with because it explains me and what goes on up here a little bit. My life's a cartoon. It's been that way since a kid. Everything that I thought and everything that I did. My life's a cartoon, and so it remains. I see things as they are, but then they turn around in my brain. This is my cartoon house. This is my cartoon car. This is how I see the moon and how I see the stars. This is my cartoon face when I look in the mirror, my cartoon eyes, cartoon nose, and cartoon ears. My life's a cartoon, and it's been one long comic strip. It's a very odd life, I have to admit. When my dog can talk, but only to me. When we go out for a walk, he always says, "Hey, let's check out that tree." My cartoon life. My shirt has wings. My shoes can run on my own and my underwear sings. My cartoon life, my dreams all come true. I can be who I please and do what I want to do. Yes, my life's a cartoon and it always will be a little bit strange, but that's all right with me. So now you know everything you need to know about me. Now, before we get started, I want to make sure that you have paper and pencil. I'm so used to being in front of an audience. I'm video recording this, so I don't really get to see you. So I've got this sitting out in front of me, so I think I can see you. I see there's a couple of girls, some guys out there watching this. There's a dog here in the corner, looks like mine. Somebody's got a worm instead of a pencil, or maybe that's a snake. But you definitely need a couple sheets of paper and something to draw with in order to be able to draw along with me when we get to that point. Now, the name of my program is Cowtooning. And the reason I chose to go with cows and a cow tuner is because I've always found cows to be pretty close to living cartoon characters. They have those big eyes. They look like they seem to understand us better than we understand them. They just have a personality to them that I always thought made a good cartoon character. So we'll be looking at a series of tales, including a cow's tale. Now, what I decided to do to write these stories was I sat down one night, grabbed a sheet of paper, and started drawing all the tales that animals might have. You might call this the Tale Hall of Fame, because I think all these tales are pretty interesting. You can see I started with the cow and looked at some of the other tales like the bird tail, cats, the fox. You ever notice how bird tails look like the back of an airplane? The not the wings, but the back of it. And I think that kind of shows you that we borrowed some ideas. We learned how a bird flew first, and we learned how. There's the dreaded skunk tail up there, a rattlesnake tail, a whale's tail, a beaver's tail, a gator's tail. Anyways, I sat down and drew a bunch of tales, and then I decided that we would focus on a few of them. This is like a class in taleology, I guess. So, as I said, I've always found cartoon cows very personable and fun to draw. Here's some expressions. And I decided to have this cow draw the next story for me. I kind of helped it a little bit, but you can see right here, I've got a character who paints with his tail. That's one way to use a tail if you're a cow. This cow actually learned to draw, and he drew cartoon characters he saw on the farm. All my stories today, in fact, took place on a farm. What a perfect place to go to look for tales, a barnyard, right? Well, ever since she was a calf, she loved to make the barnyard laugh, drawing cartoons in her stall of her farm friends, one and all. And to make it better, and just to have some fun, She drew the wrong tails on the end of everyone. The goat got the turkeys. The turkey got the cows. The cow got the sheep. And the sheep got the sows. The sow got the calves. And the cat got the ducks. And the duck got the farmers. And the farmer, he's out of luck. Then when she was done, on the barn wall she hung the drawings so they could all find the strange looking bottoms, all the tails, and who got them, as they laughed at their cartoon behinds. So a cow helped me draw that. Now, when I was working with that cow and drawing pictures together, actually I made the first mistake. When she came up with the idea of, let's do half and half like half dog and a half cat, and put them together and see how that looks. Well, I messed it up the first time I drew one because I wasn't thinking it should be the head of one and the tail of the other. I accidentally put two tails together. Once I drew it, I thought, well, it came out really good, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. What is this that I'm looking at? Half a dog and half a cat? Half a kitty with sharp claws and half a canine with big paws? Half that uses the litter box, half that uses trees on walks. She likes smelling catnip, but she has no nose. He likes chewing dog bones, but he has no teeth for those. If they both step forward, they won't move a bit. If they both step backwards, there's a chance that they might split. Not a bark or a meow or a hiss or a growl, just a tail wag now and then. Half dog, half cat, half this, half that, and friends from end to end. Now, I'll tell you what, let's take that dog and kind of pull that part apart, and let's draw a real dog by putting a real dog's head in the front. Now, when you draw, let me find my paper, there's some things you have to consider. Get all set up here. This is the hardest part of drawing from home is the amount of space I have and the amount of space I don't. Let's see if I can make this work. If I knock anything over, I'm going to pretend it's all part of the presentation. Anytime you draw a picture, it's good to start thinking in circles, because most cartoon characters are nothing but a series of circles all put in the right place. We're going to draw a dog that actually looks a lot like a dog that I take care of sometimes. I take care of a little Chihuahua. When I look at a dog's tail, what would a dog be without a tail? Don't tell corgis or bulldogs this, but I think tails just make a dog what it's supposed to be. There we go. Just like that. There we are. So take your first piece of paper and turn it sideways. Take your pencil or your pen or your crayon, a dark crayon, hopefully, whatever you choose to draw with. And we'll start with whatever you've got in your hand. And to warm up a little bit, just get your wrist going a little. It always seems to help me before I start drawing. I'm left-handed. I don't know who else is out there, but being left-handed has always got some exciting things happening. When you draw with a marker, I got to be so careful that I don't smear things with it, because right-handed people work with their drawings. I work over my drawings, so I always have to be careful. And so do you if you're left-handed. But we're going to start with a simple circle in the middle of the paper. This is going to be his eye. The dog is going to be facing sideways. So we're going to be drawing his whole body. But right about in the middle of your paper, maybe a little bit further over, if you would draw the circle something like this. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine isn't. Coming off of that circle, we're going to draw a simple line. That's going to be the bridge of his nose. And the other eye, this is his eye, by the way, the other eye is on the other side of the circle, but you only see part of it like that. So let's go ahead and catch up. Again, they don't have to match perfectly either. That's the great thing about a cartoon. You never know how it's going to turn out. It never exists in the first place. You can't make any mistakes. So we'll be fine. Two eyeballs. There's the bridge of the nose. Here's the tip of the nose. Just another circle. You'd be surprised how many circles show up in a drawing, huh? Because it's a little Chihuahua, he's got really big eyes. The bigger the eye and the bigger the pupil, the smaller the body will appear. Little illusion. So let's go ahead and draw a circle here. Kind of looking right at you. Looks like a donut. And because we're hiding part of that eye, you're only going to see part of this circle. Something like that. Okay. Let's do the top of his head. I'm going to draw like a little triangular shape. I don't want it to be too big because they have such little heads. So there's the top of his head. The bottom of his mouth, which forms his nose, the rest of his nose as well, is just one curve. It goes from here to here. Or if you're left-handed, I guess I should say from here to here. Just draw a little half circle again. Look at all these circles or half circles we've drawn so far. Just one little line. He's smiling, so I'm going to draw a quarter of a circle right there, like his cheek muscles getting pushed up a little bit, making him smile. Okay. Now, the smaller the dog, the bigger the ears often are. So here's our Chihuahua's ear. I'm going to come all the way up and all the way down. We're going to exaggerate this. That's what cartooning is exaggeration. There he is. That is a big ear. So it's more like an ear. Watch what I do. I'm going to repeat this shape from there to there. Wow, that's huge. Looks like a mouse, doesn't he? Honestly, Chihuahuas can look like mice. They can look like, it's kind of like little rats. Okay, so there's an ear. Let's do the back of his head. Comes down from behind the ear like this, a little curve from about there to there. And we're going to finish this down into a neck, right about to there. You don't want to make it too long because we want to have room for the body here. The front of his neck goes right up into his chin, like that. It's a pretty simple drawing. I thought we'd start simple first to give you a warm-up exercise and get used to doing this. The front of his little chest goes from here and connects, just like that. From there, I'm going to drop his front leg, again, keeping it very small, and his front paw, something like that. His back end, his rear end, about halfway back, probably halfway down the ear, right about here. I'm going to curve up and in. And here's his belly, just another part of a circle, the curve right there. His back leg comes out now. There's a curve there. And up here like this. The back leg always seems a little stronger than the front, so it's a little more muscular. That's why it curves out more. And there's his back foot. You see that okay? There's his back foot. Let's finish his rear up like that. And of course, what's missing? The thing we're talking about all day, the tail. They actually have rat ears and kind of rat tails too. It's going to be really long and exaggerated. I'm going to bring it down like this and make it real thin, something like this, like that, and like that. So there's our Chihuahua with the little tail. If you want, dogs' eyebrows don't make a big difference, but if you want to put a little eyebrow here, you can. Makes them look a little more alert and healthy and happy. 3 little dots here represent where his whiskers would come out. If you want to draw a collar on him, you can. I don't think I'll do that today. What else you would want to do, I'm not going to do it because I want to make sure we have enough time to get everything in, but with your crayon or marker or pencil, whatever you've got, you can shade those pupils in and shade his nose in to be darker like a dog's eyes and nose would be. Now, of course, when you do that, maybe I will take the time just to show you this. When you do that, you want to leave a little bit of white showing in each one. So watch what I do. Start coloring this in. I'm going to leave a little bit of a white spot right there. So it looks like light's reflecting off his eyes. There's one. And over here, make sure you leave room for that. I know that we don't have a lot, but you still want a little bit of light reflecting off over here. And then we can touch it up a little bit. I might go a little smaller on that one. You can always work your way back in. You can't get bigger, but you can always get smaller when you color that way. There he is. And his nose, I'm also going to leave a little white spot. I'm going to draw where it's going to go first and shade in around it so it looks like light's reflecting off of his nose. Because if you have a dog at home, you know that if they're healthy, which they normally are, their noses are usually a little wet. And when they're damp, they reflect light just a little bit like the eyes do, like the pupils do. There, that turned out all right. So there's our Chihuahua. You can always add more things to it if you would like. Maybe I'll just put a little curve here so it looks a little more natural coming out from below. And same here. Maybe I'll shade that eyebrow in a little bit. Now, when you draw a cartoon, it's always good to think about what the cartoon character is doing. Now here he's not doing much. But since this is all about tails today, I'm going to have his tail wagging a little bit. Real simple lines. You don't need a lot of them, but lets you know that he's excited about something. Maybe he's excited to see you because he didn't exist 5 minutes ago and now he gets to see himself. You can always stick his tongue out a little bit too if you want. You don't have to do this, but maybe he's excited because he's thinking treats or food, just like my dog always is. And one more thing you can do if you would like, you don't have to. Maybe he's thinking something. So you could draw a thought cloud up here. And in there, you could show what it is. Let's see if I can get you to see it better. It's not. You could go, here, I'll go like that. There. You could draw in there what you think you might be thinking. Now, I wouldn't put words up there because dogs don't talk, but if you wanted to draw something that's making him excited up here, that would make more sense for a dog, like maybe a bone or maybe a bowl. You know, you could always put his dish over here if you want to, or another little animal looking up at him. You can add those things later. Normally, I get to see what you did, but we're not doing it that way today, which I really miss. That's my favorite part. But there's one way to draw a dog. Oh, one more thing you could have done, now that I look at it. If you want to make it look like he's got 2 legs, you can just repeat what you drew over here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to show that there's another side to him as well. I guess you could have put spots on there too, and you could have colored that tongue in red if you wanted. But anyways, there's our first drawing. I bet yours turned out really well. They always do. I'm always impressed. Let me move this over here. I'm working in a room that's more like a closet, so this is always a treat. Hopefully it just keeps going as well as it is right now. Okay, so that dog you just drew, I threw into a story because I started thinking, you know something? Whatever's going on in a dog's head, you can read their mind by looking at the other end, right? Their rear, their tail always gives away what's going on up here. So here's a quick little poem that I use that character in. My dog's brain is over here, but all his thoughts go to his rear. If you want to read his mind, just take a look at his behind. A wag, he's good. A drag, he's sad. A downward curve could end up bad. A pointed tail could mean a squirrel is just about to rock his world. When his tail jiggles, he's thinking treats. When it wiggles, he's thinking eat. Yes, my dog's tail tells the tale of what's up here and back there as well. And though he tries to hide his thoughts, there really is no use, because whatever my dog thinks about ends up in his caboose. That's my dog story. Now, of all the animals there are, and we talked about the tail Wall of Fame or Hall of Fame that I came up with to help me think about ideas for stories. There's our dog tail that we just drew all by itself. If you ever see a dog's tail running around by itself, we got a problem. And here's the next tail we're going to draw. This tail told you how the animal attached to it thinks. This one tells you how the animal attached to stinks. Probably the most famous tail on earth because it can do so much harm. And we all know what that is, right? Yeah. Well, I was trying to think of a good skunk poem to write. And when I was out on a farm when I was a kid, there was a farm down the road from me. They had this little house I thought was kind of cool, like a great place to camp out. It wouldn't be. It's something called the outhouse. And right away, well, I said, well, I want most of my stories to be taking place on the farm, like I suppose that dog we just drew was a farm dog. I started thinking about the outhouse, and I started thinking about the skunk, and I started thinking about this. There's a skunk in the outhouse, and it feels so at home. There's a skunk in the outhouse, I suggest you leave alone. There's a skunk in the outhouse, it's obvious to tell. There's a skunk in the outhouse, all you gotta do is smell. There's a skunk in the outhouse, about to do some harm. Yeah, there's a skunk in the outhouse, don't set off his alarm. There's a skunk in the outhouse, please do not disturb. There's a skunk in the outhouse, believe me and take my word. There's a skunk in the outhouse, he's been there all week. There's a skunk in the outhouse, and man, he really reeks. There's a skunk in the outhouse, and he's just about to spray. Yeah, there's a skunk in the outhouse, hold your nose and run away. Kind of gross, huh? But there's a tale we don't want to come across. Now, there's a famous story about a couple animals you might find out in a field and a farm. One's about a rabbit. Of course, they have big fluffy tails. One's about a turtle, and that tail kind of looks like its head, but a little thinner, and both can go in and out of the shell if they want. And I decided to take that story about the tortoise and the hare. You probably know the story about, the rabbit and the turtle challenge each other to a race, and there's a surprising ending. I'm sure you've heard that fable or that tale. So I decided to introduce a skunk to it just to see what would happen. You see, the rabbit was running really hard and fast as the lead on the turtle was You see, the rabbit was really running as hard as he could, and his lead on the turtle was very far and good. This is way too easy to himself, the rabbit thunk, when suddenly aside the path, there appeared a skunk. The skunk turned around, stuck his tail up there, and let loose from his caboose a smell into the air. The rabbit caught a whiff, he choked and rolled about, he squirmed, he turned, his eyes they burned. Then he finally just passed out. Quite a while later, the turtle came strolling by. When the same skunk beside the road caught the turtle's eye. The pesky skunk once again lifted up his tail, aimed it at the turtle, but just as he released the awful smell, the tortoise pulled his head inside the hard shell right away, keeping him from taking in that toxic skunky spray. then continued down the path at his slow and steady pace, not knowing that the hare had been knocked out of the race. Later, when the hare came to, he popped up, ran hard and fast, only to find that when he crossed that line, he had finished last. So you see, the fable often told doesn't completely tell the tale of a tortoise and the hare and a skunk's disgusting smell. Yeah, you know, in that story, they always blame the rabbit for being lazy and taking a nap while the turtle went slow and steady to win the race. Throw a skunk in that story, it's a whole other thing, isn't it? Now, I thought we'd take a look at some tales that you don't always see. In fact, let's see if I got, no, that's the next one. In fact, this next one, if you could hear, and I shut the windows on purpose in this room, but if I open them, you would hear this noise outside that's been driving my poor dog nuts for the last couple of weeks. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you've got them where you are, but down here in Cincinnati, they're everywhere, to the point where I've actually been picking them out of my dog's hair. And they make this screeching sound. In fact, 3 of them just flew past my window. The cicada. And the cicada's tail isn't really what makes the sound, but it helps the sound exuberate. In fact, you can hear them in waves, like they get really loud, then low, then loud, then low. It's actually their abdomen that's making this noise, but the tail and the wings help it do what it has to do. So, quick poem in honor of the cicada. It comes out of the ground every 17 years, making a sound that rattles your ears, shaking its tail to its own song, just for a few months, and then they are gone. From the bushes and trees, it serenades you on an off-key symphony. It's the singing cicada. As the summer grows late, its song will end. Not till 2038 will we hear it again. I don't know about you, but I know about me, and in 17 years, I'll be 83. Yeah, I don't know about you, I only know about me. So in 17 years, how old will you be? So he's not coming back for 17 more years. And it was 17 years ago when the cicada last showed up. I was assuming you knew that before I told you that poem. Well, at 83, I'm hoping I can hear, so I can hear them again. Let's say you're 10, you'll be 27 next time the cicadas come around. Let's say you're 12, you'll be almost 30 next time they come around. You might have kids of your own that at the age you are right now, who knows when they come around. But kind of cool that they come around, but they can go away too. And what's weird is they all come out of the ground after 17 years. They've been under there waiting, and you can't, I should turn the camera on. You wouldn't believe that. It looks like O'Hare Airport here. They just flew by me again out here. So that's one of the insects that have cool tails. Here's another one. And I'll just show you what its gift was. We said, by the way, that was the cow tail. Got to show you that one. That was the dog tail. This was the stinky skunk's tail. Anybody want to guess what tail this is? It's a bug's tail. And it does something magical. It's the only one I know that can do this. It's a tail that glows, and it belongs to the firefly. Out on the farm, remember we're on a farm, the cicada was at a farm. On the farm that we're drawing pictures from, these things fly all around above the cornfields and out above the weeds and the wheat, the trees and the grass, out in the pastures, these lightning bugs. But I was thinking, do the lightning bugs really enjoy being lightning bugs, or sometimes you call them fireflies? I think that might drive me nuts at night if I were one. So I put myself in the place of a firefly, which is a fun thing to do. Put yourself in the place of something else when you draw a cartoon and think, what must it be like to be them? My tail makes me crazy. I can't sleep. I can't think. Off and on and off. It blinks and blinks and blinks. I can't see where I'm going, only where I've been. What good is all this glowing if it's only lighting the wrong end? Moths, they surround me when I fly at night. They flutter around me like I'm some porch light. Bats try to eat me. Frogs too want to dine. My tail might as well be a neon fast food sign. My tail serves no purpose, as well as you can see, because Mother Nature put a headlight where it shouldn't be. So there's a tail I don't think I would want. We're going to draw another picture. And this one, we're still on the farm. We're going to draw, let me move some of this. We're going to draw that cow that's been drawing the pictures. You haven't seen what he looks like when you draw him yet. So let me get myself set up here and work my way around. And I've been right-handed, life would have been easier, but I got squeezed between two tables, not knock anything over. So far, so good. Okay. When we draw this character, we're just going to draw part of him, just a fragment of him. Let's see if I can turn this down a little bit. Get them all in. Okay. Take your marker, your pen, or your crayon, your dark crayon, or your pencil. And of course, with the pencil, you have the advantage of erasing things if you like. Nothing wrong with erasing. I always tell people erasing doesn't mean you made a mistake. Erasing means you decided to make a change. Kind of takes that stigma away from the eraser so you aren't afraid to use it. But feel free to make changes. I'm using a marker so you can see better. So I'm stuck. Now, this cow that we're going to draw is nothing but a series of circles. That dog had some circles in it that we drew. This guy's almost all circles. So about 2/3 way up your paper. No, let's say halfway up, maybe a little better than halfway up. I'm going to draw a circle from about here to here. Like that. Does not have to be perfect. In fact, imperfect circles sometimes make better expressions, but there's a circle. Inside that circle, I'm going to have you draw a half circle from here to here and a half circle from here to here. Put that down a little more. And 2 little half circles here. Those are the cow's nostrils. He's looking right at you. That's his nose you're looking at, the front of his face and his nose. Now for his eyes. You've drawn shapes of hearts before, like Valentine's Day hearts, you know, where it looks like this and it looks like that. Think that way when we draw these eyes. Let's say the heart starts here. Watch what I do. And it curves down behind his nose and mouth. And the other side of that heart shaped like this. So these are kind of like circles, but they don't connect. That's going to be his eyeballs. Now inside his eyeballs are going to be his pupils. If you would draw a circle here and draw a circle here, now you have 2 pupils. Okay, so far so good. Now to keep working in circles, I'm going to draw the rest of his head like this. I'll show you with my finger first. It's just a part of a circle. It goes from here to here like it tucks itself in behind the nose. So we're going to go like this. Again, does not have to be perfect by any means. Mine isn't. Something like that. There's a lot of ways to draw a cow, but I thought this is the circle cow. Okay, from the Circle K Ranch, I suppose. Now, his ears. It was really hard for me not to draw those Chihuahua ears again when I practiced this guy, because they kind of look like that, but they aren't as big. So watch what I do. It's kind of like an elongated half circle from here to here. Do not worry how it turns out. They always come out okay. And maybe a half one from here to here. One's big, you notice one's bigger than the other on mine? Like I said, I don't care. It's a cartoon. All right. Inside that ear, we're going to draw a little curve, and two little, like, I don't know what you would say, like a sideways W or an M, just to indicate some hair inside those ears. Some, yeah, I guess hair, fur. Also, I'm going to have little horns come out of my cow's head. You don't see all of it, just enough to know they're there. I'll put a little bit of hair up here. Nothing fancy. Okay. Now for the mouth. I'm going to draw, looks like half of a football maybe. It's going to curve down here to the side. I know that looks like a tongue, but I want it to look like he could speak, so I'll show you how to turn this into a mouth. Okay. Repeat that shape. Now you're looking down into his mouth. A half circle right here. That's going to be his tongue. All tongues have that little line that goes down the middle, even yours. So draw that line. And then shade in the dark part of his throat. So it looks like you're looking down inside of his mouth a little. Or her mouth. I guess it's a her. I don't know. I always get cattle and cows and bulls and all of them. Heifers. I get them all mixed up. And we didn't draw any udders, did we? Oh, well. On a cow. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do probably won't make sense at first, but I'm going to draw a line right below where this mouth ends, a little line that goes from here to here. And I'll tell you why in just a second. So if you would draw this line with me, keep moving it that way, don't I? There we go. And on this end, 3 little circles. There's one, part of one, tucked in behind that one, and another part of one. Those are his fingers or her fingers. Well, we're going to draw, and I know cows don't have fingers, they have hooves. This is a cartoon cow, so we're allowed to do what we want. I'm going to make that 3 fingers because cartoon characters pretty much just have 3 fingers and a thumb. You don't have to bother with all of them. If you want to show a little bit of a thumb, you don't have to do this. But that little curve right there looks like the thumb's kind of holding this line from behind. Same on this side. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, what he's holding or she's holding is a piece of paper. I'm going to hold this up so you can see how the bottom part looks. On this piece of paper, there we go. We're going to draw. Here, I'll just go ahead and hold this out. I guess that's the best way to do it. I'm going to draw a line from here to here. That's one side of the paper. From here to here on the bottom. I'll hold this up so you can see it as soon as I get done drawing the bottom. This is, whoops, this is our drawing cow. There it is, almost. What am I doing? There it is, geez. Okay, see what I'm doing? And then, who knows what I'm doing? And then let me go ahead and finish drawing this line coming up. She's holding a piece of paper out in front of her. Back her up a little. There she is. Normally I have an easel in front of a room and it makes life so much easier than trying to think backwards when I look at the screen here. But there she is holding up a piece of paper. Watch what I do here now. There's his shoulder and there's her shoulder. Now you see the rest of her. paper looks like it's been beat up a little bit, but then again, she's a cow drawing a picture, so I'm sure she doesn't get the best paper. Let's do it to her eyes what we did with the dog. Let's shade them in a little bit, like this. Okay, there's one. There's the other. Leave a little bit of white in the middle, maybe, like that. I'm gonna put two little lines here and here, just so it looks like her nose attaches better. And now we have that little calf or that little cow holding up a picture that she drew. Now, what did she draw? I'm gonna leave that up to you. When you get a chance later, you can color her in and draw what you think she may have drawn. Maybe she drew something of a story I've already told you. Maybe she drew a skunk. Maybe she drew a cicada coming up out of the ground. I don't know, maybe she drew that little dog, or maybe she drew another cow, or maybe she drew one of the half and half animals that are like part sheep and part turkey. But you decide what you want to put in your little cow's drawing, their calf's drawing at the end. Okay, well, since we went back to the farm, I'll make a quick adjustment, take this back here. I thought we'd finish up at the farm too. Hopefully next year, I get to come and actually see what you drew. That's one of my favorite things of doing this. I taught school for 37 years. And the reason I keep doing this, actually, and I was a history teacher, not an art teacher. This is just something I do for fun. But I really love being in front of a bunch of kids and meeting you. So hopefully next year, I get to see what you drew, okay? So last story, yes, I believe this will be the last story. Let me move to it. Yes, okay. We're gonna leave the farm. I've been on the farm for the last 45 minutes or so. Time to leave the farm, and we're gonna leave it with someone you probably have heard of before, Old MacDonald. You've heard of Old MacDonald. You know, he really existed, and he lived right here in Ohio. He had a farm in Columbus, and the song used to go, Old MacDonald had a farm, oh hi, oh hi, oh. But it became such a popular song across the country that they changed it to E-I-E-I-O. Anyways, I'm gonna do the best I can to sing you through this last song, and then we're gonna leave the farm together with Old MacDonald. And I was thinking, poor Old MacDonald, every day on that farm, listening to all the animals, the baa-baas, the moo-moos, and the quack-quacks, and the beep-beeps, and the oinks-oinks, must have driven him crazy, and it finally did. That's how my story ends. But he comes up with a solution. Old MacDonald ran away. Oh, hi, oh, hi, oh. He couldn't take another day. Oh, hi, oh, hi, oh. Of a moo-moo here or a baa-baa there, ducks all quacking everywhere. Old MacDonald ran away. Oh, hi, oh, hi, oh. Old MacDonald went to town. Oh, hi, oh, for peace and quiet, but he soon found. Oh, hi, oh. A beep, beep here and a honk, honk there. People on their cell phones everywhere. Old MacDonald got out of town. Oh, hi, oh. Old MacDonald bought a boat. Oh, hi, oh. Hoping, and out to sea, he decided to float. Oh, hi, ho. Hoping there would be no sound. Oh, hi, oh. But soon the seagulls came around. Oh, hi, oh. With a squawk, squawk here and a squawk, squawk there and waves splashing everywhere. Old MacDonald sold his boat. Oh, hi, oh. Old MacDonald dug a hole. Oh, hi, ho. Where he could be the only soul. Oh, hi, oh. There was no noise, there was no sound. Oh, hi, ho. Just dirt and darkness all around. Oh, hi, oh. No sound here, no sound there, no sound anywhere. Old MacDonald felt so alone. Oh, hi, oh. So old MacDonald tunneled back to the farm. Oh, hi, oh. Where he popped up from behind the barn. Oh, hi, oh. Right between two stalks of corn. Oh, hi, oh. And there a great idea was born. Oh, hi, oh. He stuck the corn into his ears. Oh, hi, oh. And no longer could he hear. Oh, hi, oh. A moo-moo here, or a quack-quack there, or a baa-baa here, or an oink-oink there. Old MacDonald had ears of corn. Oh, hi, oh. My poor dog is under the table whining because of the way I sing. Sorry, buddy. It was so nice to be able to do this with you. Like I said, I hope maybe next year we get to see each other in person. Thanks for drawing along with me. I hope you did a good job. And the most important thing is make sure you add something to both those drawings, to that whatever the dog was thinking, to whatever the picture the cow was holding, and try to write your own stuff. See if you can come up with some rhyming, or I like to do it in rhyme because I do have a little bit of music in my head that helps me rhyme. You wouldn't know that from my voice. But try to write something to go with what you drew. Maybe put 3 things in a series and try a comic strip. Because after all, life is a comic strip, isn't it? At least it has been for me. So it's very nice to meet all of you, and have a safe, fun summer, and keep ducking away from those cicadas. Take care.